Welcome to the Parenting Coach Podcast with Crystal. Over 7 years ago, I felt like I was stuck in this cycle of yelling and reactivity in my parenting that I did not want to be in, but I didn't know how to get out of. I knew how I wanted to parent pretty much exactly, and I'd spent hours reading books, but not finding a way to show up how I wanted to. That's when I started to turn inwards. My own inward journey was what my family needed. As I changed, everything around me changed. My kids' meltdowns decreased by 90% or more with no medications or therapy. I stopped yelling, sibling fighting became almost entirely non-existent, and I found that this change flowed into other areas of my life too. My intuition increased. I started to run my life and business in a very different way. If this sounds like something you want to, I can help. Join me each week as I share my journey, including the laughter, fun, hard times, and tears. Tune in for support, guidance, and fun conversations with my favorite experts, and really anything else that interests me too. Hello. Welcome again to the podcast. Thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in, for listening, for sharing, for talking about the podcast. I love it when I meet people in person who are like, hey, I listened to your podcast. It is so awesome. I love this work, and I love this shame-free living work that we get to share. And we get to share it even if we don't talk about it. Even if all we do is this work within us, we will give other people we'll give them energetic permission to be more themselves, to be more accepted, to be more loved. People will just feel it from who you are. And I love that we get to do this. So join me in this. If you're interested, we will be opening another round of Shame-Free Parenting Movement, so you can check that out. And I also will be doing a seminar on shame resiliency for coaches, therapists, and counselors with my mom. She has a master's of social work. She's going to be talking about nervous system regulation. I'm going to be talking about shame, and we'll be teaching somatic and subconscious practices to help your clients move through their shame. But we'll be doing so much practice. We'll be doing practice on ourselves. We're doing practice on each other. It's going to be much more integration than information. And also for those of you that are not interested in that, which is totally fine if that is not your thing, or if you're not in the healing space, I just want to remind you that it's integration over information. Information is great and it's needed, but it has its place. And we're in a very information dense world. We're in a very information heavy world, right? Every time you turn on your phone. And also there's like new books all the time and new videos and the computer and internet and all of the things. It's like information overload. And I would say integration underload. We don't spend time for stillness. We don't spend time in integration. And that is where the changes really come for us, where you really feel differently about things. So you can go back and listen to the bonus episodes of 5 Days to Shame-Free Parenting if you want some more of this integration piece. But I will just offer that as you listen to this coaching session, because today's episode is going to be a coaching session, I want you to think about where the truth of this resonates for you, where maybe you notice shame pop up in your relationships, where you feel like it might be kind of triggering. You might not notice it on the surface as shame. It might feel like anger. It might feel like anxiety. It might feel like rage. It might feel like frustration, resentment, helplessness. And as you dig into those, remember last week I mentioned getting an inner child healing journal where you like converse with your inner child. You can converse with those big emotions that come up. And by big emotions, I mean when you're feeling the bigness of a feeling. Any emotion can feel big or small, but when you're feeling the bigness of an emotion, you can write down the name of the emotion, but you don't even have to. You can just converse with it. You can just write out like, what is coming up for me? How does this feel in my body? What do I think is underneath this? What message do I think it's sharing with me? Emotions are messages. They're the way that our body speaks to us, and we can ignore it and push it down and repress it. And it will just keep getting louder and louder and louder until we get things like panic attacks or major anxiety that blocks us from being able to, leave our house or drive or whatever. I've worked with clients like that. Or it can really put huge wounds in relationships. It can block things. I also think that everything physical is emotional, emotional is physical. So I also think it manifests in our physical body as well when we push it down. So I think this work is needed and it's helpful. And like I said last week, it's like the dental hygiene for our brains. It's something that we're going to regularly need, but also to give you some hope for the future that as I've done this work, I've noticed I am way less triggered, way less frequently triggered, and way less intensely triggered. And I'm able to have so much more control in my behavior in the moment, even when I'm feeling a big feeling. that the big feeling doesn't take over my behavior completely so that I do something in a way that doesn't feel aligned to me. I speak or say or tone of voice something. I'm able to have more pause, more space, and show up in a way that feels better to me, and also come back and correct when needed, and take time to apologize and learn from those things. So it's made a huge difference for me. And so a client asked the other day, like, do you ever get to the point where you just like don't have to deal with shame and you don't feel it anymore? And I would say no, but I would say that largely yes, that you can get to a space where it's very infrequent in your life and where it's very less intense, and where you're able to feel it and move through it and use it for growth. So in today's coaching session, you will hear one of my clients being coached, and she's going to be coached on her constantly correcting others. She had a lot of things that she wanted to talk about, but then as she kind of moved through it, she was like, you know what I really want to talk about is this thing that I've noticed that I often correct people around me. And we dig into what's underneath that for her. And I would offer, as she goes through this and as you listen to this, to think about that for you. Like, what are some things coming up for me right now that I would like to shift or change, or ways of being that I don't like when I show up in a way that doesn't feel aligned, doesn't feel like it really is me, patterns that maybe I'm in that I want to change and shift. And you can imagine yourself as if it were her, and you can go through this same shift yourself. And if you are a healer, if you're in the healing space, you can do this work on yourself and also on your clients. And if you want to learn more about that, come to our seminar, and the link will be in the show notes. So I hope that something powerful comes in a shift for you today or over the next few days as you continue to integrate what you learn here, what you hear. And also, if this is work that you want to do with a guide, I do have one-on-one spots available right now, just on a weekly basis. You can just drop in during my office hours. Right now, they're Monday and Wednesday from 9 to 3 Mountain Time. And I also have a couple of groups going. I have the creation room that's for women that want to tap more into their intuition and create new things in their life and in their being. And then the shame-free parenting movement that's focused specifically on parenting elementary age kids right now. And it's a fabulous place to be as well. So there's lots of things that you can look into. And you can also listen to my podcast with that idea in mind, integration over information. So instead of listening to all of the podcasts that I've ever done, listen to one and choose one thing from that one episode to take and to integrate, and notice how it changes, because the changes are really cool. Okay, so let's tune in.
I have so many things going on in my head, and I wanted to pick one that I really, really wanted to work on. So, okay, I wrote it down. I hope this is okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm constantly correcting everyone, my husband, my kids, probably myself, even down to spelling. I almost don't mind when others correct me. I might feel defensive at first, but I tend to open up to the criticism pretty quickly. So I'm trying to figure out, is there something going on there? It's almost like I can't allow incorrect statements or actions to go without being fixed. In my head, I'm like, those are wrong. I got to fix them. But I know that there's many ways to be right. And I might not even be correct. They might not be wrong, but I still do it anyway.
Yeah.
I'm probably not helping at all. I want my kids and husband to make and then these are the words in my head, even though I'm like, oh, when I write them down, I'm not even sure if this is true. If this is right, but this is what's going on in my head. I want them to make mistakes and learn from them organically, because they will learn things better that way. And so I'm trying to think, was I constantly corrected as a child? Did my parents constantly correct me? And my mom was one of those overbearing parents. She was the one where you had to do things right all the time and stuff like that. And I'm like, does it stem from that? And I don't want to be this way. And I'm constantly trying to catch myself, because we'll have dinners together. And I'm always trying to just hold it in. Don't say anything. You don't need to say anything. And my husband will say something that I don't agree with. And I'm just and I don't say anything. And I want to try to so those are the symptoms. I'm just dealing with symptoms. I kind of want to fix the main problem here. So I don't.
So back in childhood, we did this thing where there was only one right and one wrong. Right. Mm-hmm. And we can see that with kids. We're just that is right and that is wrong. And that's about as black and white as our brain can be, because we just don't have a lot of complex thinking. We don't spend a lot of time thinking about our thoughts. It's just hard for us to comprehend that there's more than that until we kind of age and move through that. And that starts to shift around 5 to 7. But most of us didn't necessarily have the most secure, attached childhood or parents modeling these things or whatever. So when I started reading more about child development, I started seeing these parts of things in myself that I hadn't necessarily moved through either because of my own childhood patterns. So I was like, oh, I think I still do this. So I think it was Brene Brown calls it the zero sum game, but it's like, I'm right, you're wrong. There's only one right. There's only one wrong. And because it feels so terrible inside to be the wrong one, we have to make the other people be wrong so that we can be right, so that we can feel good. So consciously, that's kind of how breaking it down would go. Consciously, it would look something like, why do I think there's only one right or one wrong? Wrong. In what ways do I notice that might actually not be true? Like that there's lots of there's millions of different ways. Like, I mean, I know you yourself have done public school and you've done homeschool. You probably invested in lots of different programs. There wasn't one that was like, this is the one right way that will work for every learner on the planet at all ages, at all times, and in all homes. Right. So we know that consciously. So breaking it down consciously can help. It can start to journal, but journal in a deeper way, in a way where you're like, where do I know there is actually more than one right and one wrong here? And what is all about this right and wrong? And why would I feel so bad if I was the one that was in the wrong? And what would that mean about me? So that's how you can dig into it consciously, but let's do it subconsciously also, like we did with Melissa. Think about a time recently where you felt this way, where you wanted to kind of correct them, and think about maybe you can just get right to it, but what belief about yourself do you think is underneath the surface?
Oh man, that's hard because the thing I wanted to correct this morning was my it was an interaction between my daughter and her younger brother. Mm-hmm. And I immediately wanted to pipe up and be like, actually, it's fine if he does that kind of thing, because she wanted to stop him from doing something. And I was trying to get her to back off so he can have freedom, to just do his thing.
And if you don't correct it, if it stays uncorrected, what does that mean about you?
Then maybe I'm not a good teacher. Mm-hmm. I don't know, because when I was homeschooling, everything was on my shoulders and I had to make sure my children were learning everything. Mm-hmm. And I was the one that had to teach everything. And so maybe I don't need to be the teacher though. I want to be able to back off and just let them do their mm-hmm. thing. Mm-hmm. But I can't seem to do that. If I leave them alone and I let her overpower her brother, then I'm not defending my youngest. Mm.
Okay, so we want to get to what we're making it mean about us. So we might have to dig a few layers deep.
I know, I'm trying to get there, and I'm like, I can't even
get
there.
It's hard to immediately get there. It really is. But we can get there through asking ourselves a series of questions. So when we think if we let it go and we just watch them interact with each other in this way, what bothers us about that?
Letting chaos happen. I'm not in control of it.
Mm-hmm. And if you're not in control and you let chaos happen, what does that mean about you?
I don't know. It scares me.
Not being in control.
No, exactly.
I'm not sure. Fear under the surface that you're not in control, that you secretly aren't in control, and so you have to
maybe.
I don't know. Okay.
This is why it's so hard.
What would be so awful if you weren't in control and if all the chaos happened and you didn't do what you were supposed to do? Why would that be so hard?
Why would that be so hard to let chaos happen? Because then what am I doing there? What's my purpose? Why am I even the mom?
And if you don't have a purpose and there's no purpose for you being there, then what does that mean?
Then do I have a place in the world? Do I have anything worthy about me? Am I worth being the mom? I don't act like a mom.
Yeah. Do you think underneath that is, I don't matter? I'm not enough? There's something wrong with me? I don't have a place? Which one of those feels like it resonates more emotionally with you?
I feel like I have to work to matter. I have to do something to matter. I have to.
So what about the belief I don't matter?
Yeah, by itself, I don't matter unless I do something that matters.
Okay. So I want you to think about a time where you're not doing something that matters and you're just thinking like under the surface, I don't matter. How strongly do you hold that belief on a scale of 1 to 10?
Just yesterday. So I hurt my back and I was laying down in my bed yesterday because I couldn't, I was trying to rest it. And I felt guilty anytime someone came close to my room because they were going to catch me doing nothing. And I wasn't going to be proving my worth. And so I was going to think, they're judging me. They are angry at me because I'm laying down.
You know
Is
how
that what
often I've
you
coached on this today on how we tie self-worth into as productivity, like
Okay.
all the external outcomes. This is the third in a row, by the way. This is like come up. And when I was doing it on a group call, like 3 people messaged in and was like, oh my goodness, this is exactly what I do too. So we've been told that success is external and success looks like this: money, promotions, I don't know, physical, like it's all like exterior, like what people can see, right? Like nice jobs and big houses and fancy cars and all of those things. Because that is how the world works and is like, this is success. We make our enoughness mean that. So, like, if we're not doing something that's productive, keeping a clean house or having a really long to-do list and getting all the things checked off of them, then we feel like that's connected to our enoughness. We've like really intermingled our actions, what we do, and our inactions with our beingness, which 2 things aren't connected, but we have connected those consciously. So I want to dig into I don't matter in a similar way that we did with Melissa. So we're going to close our eyes and we're going to do it a little bit more subconscious. I wanted to talk it through a little bit consciously first, just to start breaking it down. But we're going to breathe in through the nose, exhaling, releasing out through the mouth. Imagining on the inhale that we're blowing up a really big balloon. And on that exhale, we're just letting go of our hold on that balloon and it's just releasing everything. All of our muscles are relaxing. All of the tension that we feel in our body just melts away until our muscles feel heavy, being pulled down into the ground. Our mind and our heart feel more open. There's more space, not only in our physical self and our muscles and our bones, but also in our soul self. There's more opening there. And we're going to go back to the memory from yesterday. We are going to remember sitting in the room, hearing somebody come close to the room, and we're feeling that inflammation inside, that strong emotion within us. And I want you to bring up that feeling inside and then allow the memory just to slide right out, to float right away up into the clouds. But we're sticking with this energy. And I want you to tell me where you feel the energy the most strong.
in my chest?
Okay. And I want you to imagine it's like a shape or a metaphor or an object. What does it feel like?
A reddy orange sand cloud.
Okay. All right. So let's stick with that. Let's stick with our chest, ready orange sand cloud, and let's just watch it for a minute. As we watch it, notice if it's moving or still, if it's hot or cold, sharp or smooth or bumpy. Maybe as you watch, you're able to welcome more of that feeling in. Maybe it can get a little bigger even. As you watch it, again, thinking in metaphors and shapes, what do you think it needs in order to feel safe, feel better?
Rain.
Mm. How much rain?
Well, it depends. A drizzle might actually do.
Let's give it a drizzle. Let's give it what it feels like it needs right now.
Okay, no, let's do like a huge rain cloud. Let's just like dump on it.
Okay. And as you're watching it, you know what it needs in the moment it needs it. So you can lessen or increase the intensity. You can give it whatever it needs. Does it need anything more?
No.
How does it feel now inside?
Feels cool. Clean.
Okay, we're going to press together our pointer finger and our thumb. And as you do, breathe in through the nose, exhaling twice as long out through the mouth. And once you've done that breath, you can just shake the body. And as we sit in this feeling, again, we're going to listen as our feelings have messages for us and just see if there's a thought or a feeling or a word that comes in.
It's okay.
Yeah. It's okay. It's safe to be me. I do matter. I don't have to do anything to claim my mattering. I matter just as I am in every moment. Just sit with that feeling for a little bit, letting it expand, balloon, expand so much that it builds outside of yourself, spreading to other people, touching all of the people close to you, your kids, your husband, your friends and family. And again, we're going to shake the body and then open your eyes. Scale of 1 to 10, how much do you believe I don't matter?
Not as much. Maybe a 2.
Mm-hmm.
That's not all the way gone, but it's way better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's try one more thing. I'm going to tap, and I want you to tap where I'm tapping and then say what I'm saying. Just say it back to me.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to start at the top of our head. Even though my brain tells me I don't matter.
My brain tells me I don't matter.
Even though I've had experiences in where I truly feel I don't matter.
Even though I've had experiences where I truly feel I don't matter. Dang it.
I can allow all these feelings.
I can allow all these feelings.
And know that part of being human is feeling this way.
And know that part of being human is feeling this way.
And it's safe to release this emotion.
And it's safe. It's
No
safe
sorry,
to
just let it
release
out.
this emotion.
Mm-hmm. It's safe to release this belief.
It's safe to release this.
Wrist, wrapped around this wrist, in through the nose, out through the mouth. We're going to do it one more time, and we're going to let all the tears flow, all the feelings flow.
Okay.
Even though
I've
had experiences that show me that I don't matter.
I've had experiences that show me I don't matter.
That has never been true.
It's never been true.
I release this false belief.
I release this. Sorry, what?
I release this false belief.
I release this false belief.
I release this emotion.
I've released this emotion.
I am a safe space for all my feelings.
I'm a safe space for all my feelings.
It is safe to be me.
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 Breathe again in through the nose. Shake out all that energy. Where are you at now? I don't matter.
A 0.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
We're going to take your hands and we're going to wrap them all the way around and give yourself a hug. Give yourself so much compassion. This is always the first place to start. Compassion for us. Before we go to the actions, the behaviors, whatever we want to change, it always starts here. How do you feel?
Good. Makes me feel good.
Okay. Anything you want to say or ask?
Maybe later. I can't think of anything right now.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I would just offer, well, it's feeling true. You can journal about that truth. You can journal how that truth feels. You can journal all the reasons why it's true. You can speak it out loud. You can shout it out, like what your new belief is, what the phrase was that came to you. And you can write it on a sticky note, write it on your mirror, somewhere that you'll see it.
Okay.
All right. Welcome back from that coaching session. I hope that something really hit your heart. It did for me. It does for me every time that I help somebody through this or I help myself through this exercise. So think about how you can integrate some of these things in your life and make some changes, even if it's just small little changes like journaling for a sentence or two in the morning, or taking time for stillness, or breathing a little more deeply, a few breaths during the day. When you notice that you're breathing in a shallow way, listening to music, just sitting in stillness in the car instead of listening to the radio, do something that your intuition is guiding you towards that will help you move through some of your big feelings, some of your triggers. And you can come back and listen to this podcast episode over and over again and listen to this coaching, I always find that even when I'm listening to others be coached and it's not me, that I'm able to feel the same shifts. And you can go back and listen to 5 Days to Shame-Free Parenting, as well as those are bonus episodes that we put on the podcast. And if you are in the coaching healing space, if you're a therapist, counselor, psychologist, coach, whatever, and you would like to learn more about shame, you can join both me and my mom at the Shame Resiliency Seminar for counselors, coaches, and therapists. I did a training through Brene Brown called Dare to Lead. I've also done some other trainings around shame with David Bedrick, and I've studied a lot just on my own. I'm my own best subject, and with my clients. And I found some things that really, truly work and are so effective. If you want some really effective tools to not only recognize shame, but help your clients move through them, yourself and your clients, come join us in that seminar. We'll also be covering somatic practices, and we'll be talking about the nervous system and how to help our clients in just really powerful and impactful ways. Because if you're in this healing space, you are in it for a reason. You were probably called to it. You probably feel that call of, I want to make a change in people's lives for generations. And you probably are already doing that. And I want to just help you do that in further in this shame sphere space. So come join us in that, and we will see you next week. If you enjoyed this episode as much as I did, I would love for you to help spread the word by getting this message of support and guidance out to as many people as possible. So text it to your best friend or tag me on Instagram and share it. Leave a review, rate it, subscribe it, or follow on your favorite platform. Send me a DM on IG letting me know which parts have impacted you or what you'd like to see on future episodes. We'll see you next week.